What's up, Pirates? It's Jim with AwakenedTCG, bringing you guys a discussion video, and we're going to just be talking about the meta with regards to the 3 regionals that happened this weekend, all with 3 very diverse topping leaders. We will be going over those 3 leaders and the lists, and we will be talking about whether OP04 is the most diverse meta we've ever had in the One Piece card game. But without further ado, let's get into our first leader here. We have in the... What regional was this? This was...
PlayTCG online regional that happened just this weekend.
Yep, the PlayTCG online regional. Queen won this. I think this is the first new leader that's won an online regional.
Yeah, correct.
To this date,
yep.
Yeah. And Queen...
unless you count the Knoxville Rebecca's Swiss, I know, but obviously that was at the end of the tournament. But right. Yeah, so technically, real win, yes, this is Queen, a new leader.
Right. Rebecca won Swiss, but did not win in Top Cut. But, yeah, no, if I were to guess which leader would have won yet, it would have been probably Doflamingo or Rebecca. So I'm pretty surprised that Queen was going to be the first one to pull it out here. And not to mention, there was no red in finals. This Queen played against a blue Crocodile in finals. So... pretty interesting there that we didn't even see one red deck in top 2.
Yeah, very interesting because obviously red is still very rampant, just not as much. You know, I think the diversity is definitely here in OP04. So very interesting to see a Queen win. Like you said, you wouldn't have picked this deck to win it. I wouldn't have either. I definitely would have put the winner on a red deck, but it's good to see. It's refreshing, and it gives me hope, you know, going into the future for the rest of the set.
100%. There was a bit of diversity in the East in OP04, but I don't think it was too crazy. It was definitely still mostly red. So I wonder if this is just due to the restrictions we have over here. Because obviously Radbeam and Ninebeard are great cards in decks like Zoro and Whitebeard. But this is a very interesting list. As a Queen player myself, the only thing I'm kind of questioning is no Perona. I think you need at least 2 Peronas. Because if you don't see your Dofis, you're not going to be able to stack. And Peronas are really good just for that cheap little 1-cost thing. And then you can play a Katakuri and use Leader Effect all in the same turn. So I really like that card in this deck. This one's not running it, and it won, so maybe it's right. Anyways, next up, we've got the OPOE EU online regional that happened this weekend as well. And... let's just look at the spread right now of the total leader breakdown. You have Newgate at the most at 91 and Katakuri right behind at 85, followed with Trafalgar Law at 80. And every other leader kind of after that kind of drops off. The one that surprised me the most is Zoro at 47 is very interesting. A lot of people just don't want to play Zoro anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with the influx of Katakuris, obviously that matchup is not unwinnable for Zoro, but it's definitely harder now with Katakuri getting such a buff in OP04. The interesting to note is how many Katakuris we have and only seeing 1 in top 16, right?
Yeah, so 85 Katakuris in a 500-man tournament, you can almost call like 1/5 or 1/6 of the entire tournament. And then when you boil it down to the top 16, there's only 1 showing up. So, I mean, this supports our other video where we talked about, is Katakuri overrated? Is Katakuri actually top 3? I think this solidifies my belief that no, he is not top 3, because with 85 Katakuris, if you only have 1 in top 16, and they got 15th place. It's not even like this Katakuri got like 5th or something. They barely scraped into top 16.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
yeah, I think I was going to add on to that. I think people know that Katakuri is really good, and so obviously the numbers for Katakuri go up, but then in turn the Law Katakuri matchup is like 7-3 6-4. It's like really favored for Law, and so obviously there's 80 Laws, and so these 85 Katakuris have to run into these 80 Laws, and just off that alone you already see, you know, you're gonna have to play 1, 2, maybe even 3 Laws in one run as Katakuri, and that's just gonna ruin your whole bracket. And so I think that's why we're seeing the numbers. Katakuri got popular, so then the Laws are coming out the woodworks to have easier runs, right? If there's 200 Katakuris, who wouldn't want to play Law? You know, you're gonna run into half of your rounds as Law into Katakuri, and that's just very favorable. So I think now we're gonna maybe see a little more Zoros to kind of counter the Laws now. So it's a very interesting dynamic of what we have going on here. But I'm here for it. I'm glad that Katakuri is not, you know, the top two deck, top three, and that we have these, you know, diverse pie charts. If you look at the top 16 leaders, yeah, red is the majority, but also we have, you know, a new Dofi leader, Croc, Kaido, Katakuri, right? So a little more diversity than before.
100%. One to definitely talk about is Zoro. Only, like we said, only 47 entrants, but four, the second most in top 16. Definitely testament to it still being top three, as we kind of believe at AwakenedTCG. Showing it's probably more consistent than Katakuri in a regional tournament. Just going through 9 rounds, Zoro's going to have a lot less variance than a yellow deck like Katakuri for sure. But passing over the top 16, let's talk about the first place leader, which is the reason I want to talk about this video. We have Doflamingo, green and purple, has taken this tournament at first place. Another new leader taking the spotlight in a 500-man online regional with a lot of red, as you saw. So this deck proven it can hang with the top contenders. Green, not a color we see much anymore, to be honest. But Doflamingo showing, yeah, this is a great deck for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely have been testing this deck a lot, and I played in the Play TCG Online Regional. If you guys want to go ahead and check the live tab on our channel, it shows the 6 matches that I played. But getting back on track, this deck list solves a lot of issues that the deck has, right? So obviously, one, you don't run Gran Tesoros in this list. You know, in the meta we're in, there's so many ways to get rid of the Gran Tesoro for your opponent to like even have to ever worry about it. So you get 4 more slots in the deck without having to run that. And what you do is you run more queens. Queen, you at least get to draw 2, trash 1. So you're getting a +1 draw and you're cycling your hand just as effectively. Obviously, it's not a Gran Tesoro draw 2, but at the end of the day, you're still, you know, getting an extra resource and having a blocker on board. And you don't mind that it dies because, you know, you already drew one. So like, okay, they wasted their resource. Let me go ahead and play another one and replace it. With the Tesoro, you play it, it dies. Okay, now you have to replace it, but you still don't get an effect. So for 2 turns, if you're trying to, you know, keep a Tesoro on board, that's 10 Dawn you use, and if let's say both get cleared, now you have nothing on the board to show for it. At least with Queen, if both of them do end up getting cleared, you at least already have +2 resources because of the draw effect. So that'll solve that problem where like at least you do get an effect even if it gets cleared. So I'm loving this list. I think the Union Armada is definitely a good tech card to have, and the Hell's Judgment. I was definitely sold on the Hell's Judgment. I was definitely going to make that change already, but yeah, no, this list seems very solid. Thunder Bagua is kind of a bait. I was running 3 of, but you know the ramp effect only really happens in very minuscule situations, and obviously it's good, but it's not game changing at the end of the day. So I like the Bagua at 1, but yeah, no, this list is solid, and yeah. Dofi took a tournament, which is very, very early compared to the Asia meta.
And next up here, the most surprising win of the entire weekend. It is going to be Green Kid. Who would have guessed? Green Film Kid, to be exact, won the Latam TCG Online Regional this weekend. Definitely a deck that has not really seen much daylight since OP01. Speaking of OP01, we've got a 8-drop Kid throwback. Definitely a very underplayed card ever since OP02 pretty much, and definitely OP03 with the introduction of cards like 8-cost Katakuri, kind of invalidating this card completely. But this one's running 2, and it took first place out of 511 players. Great list. I mean, it's your typical Film Kid list. I never thought this list was bad, but I would have never guessed that it would have topped a regional.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very basic list. Like, if you guys look at it, it's very, very basic. There's not really much flavor to it, but obviously it's Kid and film, so it doesn't really need to have too much. The interesting part for me is no Bardos. no event Bardos in this list, and so obviously no restand effect. You're running the Two of Paradise Waterfall for that purpose. But yeah, this is a very interesting top, and this was the Latin America, I think, online regional. Yeah, online regional. It says there, but so very interesting. Yeah, congrats to him. But this is unprecedented. I wouldn't have predicted a film kid to top a regional.
Nor would I, but very interesting. Let's talk about the top four as well, because we have all four lists right here. At second place, Yellow Katakuri. Obviously a great deck. I mean, nobody didn't expect this deck to get in top eights or top fours this set, but one of the ones we haven't really been seeing too much, especially this high up. Second place is really good placing for Katakuri and shows that it can definitely top. Not as consistent as the red decks, I believe, but this list here, kind of your cookie cutter Katakuri list, minus the Ikoku Sovereignty. Nobody really runs that event anymore just because it's very predictable. Leaving 2 Dawn up, it's like, okay, yeah, you probably have the 5k counter. So people will either swing low or completely play around it. But this is a pretty standard Katakuri list otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing special about it.
And at third place, we have Red Green Law. Yeah, that's a Red Green Law list. Only interesting one I'd say is Hawkins. I guess some people like Hawkins.
For the Whitebeard matchup, yeah. Nice little tech card. Allow clear big body, swing twice.
Yeah.
2 Luffy's standard. This standard list. Yeah.
Yeah, that's every law list nowadays. You just add like one or two tech cards. Every other card's basically the same. Yeah. And last but not least, very interesting, we have Black Rob Uruchi. He is probably first or second best black leader. It's debatable. All three, Luffy, Smoker, and Rob Lucci, all have their strengths. You can play any of them, if I'm being honest, as a black player myself. I like Black Luffy just for the consistency throughout the game. Rob Lucci's more about a big swing at the end of the game to finish out a game. Mm-hmm. So he's more like you get all your value at the end, like massive value, and Black Luffy's more like you get incremental value throughout the game. Same with Smoker, kind of like that. But sometimes isn't as good if they're not playing one drops. But anyway, very interesting list actually. Main one here being the NES lobby stage. I have not seen many people use that, but it's a pretty interesting card. Like if you get it on board early, -2 cost every turn if you have KO effects is really strong.
Yeah, I think the big thing about that card is trigger. Play this card, so if you get that on trigger, I think that changes the game completely. Oh, 100%. Definitely an interesting tech card though.
Yeah, no, really solid, and congrats to this player that got top 4 in a regional with this deck. Definitely boosting my spirits and making me think that Black has a chance to be decent in this meta, which I really do think it does. Especially in tournaments where there's going to be a lot of Whitebeard, I think it has a really good chance to be decent.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Pirates, thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of this video. We appreciate all the support. We are nearing that 1,000 subscriber goal mark, and so we have a big giveaway planned. You guys already have seen what we are going to give away, and we're adding to it daily, so be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely have a set date, and maybe we'll do a live stream for it or a YouTube video for it, but we'll come up with the details later. But with that being said, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment down below what your thoughts were about all these placements and all these tournaments that went and finished throughout the weekend. What do you guys think about all of this shenanigans that's been going on? I'll see you guys on the next video. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace.